couldn't work with it as well as they did before, especially now with Age Separation on the other side. Liquid forcing out the third game to the series, and to be honest, this game was very different from the first game. First game was back and forth, we didn't really know who was going to take it, and then this game, and it's like Liquid wins 3 lanes, and it's just game over from there.
Yeah, Ish and Kyle, the first phase, a pick you wanted to see, really came into play.
Yeah, they got the morph anyway that they'd opened with in the first, but they take the Ancient Apparition. It removes Alliance's real win condition. And to quote Shiver, who I think had the most, pretty much said everything I would need to say. They won 3 lanes. They won the game.
And they completely stayed in the comfort zone as well. You had their morphing, you had their Razor, Boxy,
the tree,
the Slardar,
you had everything.
The trees. They had everything they needed.
Yeah, I do want to go to one lane, though. Like, the one lane I think they shouldn't have lost was that Lina versus Razor matchup. And Limp actually, I don't know, he just had like one of the best Magnus games. Is it just like a different hero playstyle? Was he not? I don't know. It just, he looked off.
I mean, it's not like a winning. Okay, Lina should do well.
I think you do a little bit better than Razor, but not like
you do a little bit better, but maybe now with the changes, the way that the link works, right? You link up, you don't have to right-click him actually, so you have more time to maneuver around.
Yeah, and I also think the Morph versus Omni was the bigger outlier.
Yes,
yeah,
for sure.
As we saw, that one was weird. There's just like a random Omni Knight level 6 ganking a Razor and a Morph TPs.
3-3 felt kind of lost in the first 15 minutes.
100%.
Later on, he did some work here and there when Wisp is relocating. He saves him back with Heavenly's Grace, with Purification, but overall, it's not on his level of play.
But can we talk about the lanes for a little bit more? Because we know that Morph crushed 33s on the night. Whether that was supposed to happen, I don't know. And to be honest, my focus was mostly on the aggressive tri-lane versus aggressive tri-lane. Shouldn't there have been at some point a call from Alliance to, I don't know, put someone else against the Morph instead, because that bottom lane wasn't doing well? Or should they have not just done better in that tri-lane?
Well, they should have definitely done better. We were talking about Fada's skill build. He skipped his aura to level 4, which is very weird. Now it would have given attack range and stats to a triple range tri-lane. Fogged was literally mauling backstage. Just 2 points stun, is he crazy? And then you also can't put anything up against Morph once he's ahead. That's the problem. Yeah. He was like level 5 at 4 minutes in with double Wraithband. Yep. That's it.
And I would say, go on.
With the homing missile, they also went, right? And it was just dying constantly. They would use it, they would right-click the missile to that, and that's it.
That's it.
They didn't have the damage. Maybe that's why they went 2 levels in the Magic missile, but that's also
but you just have to play that lane to win it by attrition. I don't think you're going for kills. You counteract the enemy going for kills. You're a team with the Wisp.
Yeah, you have the Wisp.
Yeah.
Yeah, and looking at that top lane, for me, they had one support up there. They started the first wave with the Morphling, which helps, but I like what they did. They pushed the lane in, but not under the tower. So then they sent their support bottom. So it's a Morph versus Omni, but the Omni wants to cut the wave. But because the wave is already so close to his tower, he can't leave. So the Morph just gets fully free denies. I don't know, they won it because of that very first wave. It's really good.
Denies, he farms the camp as well.
Really good.
But Morphling, it's a difficult lane. I don't think Omni Knight should necessarily completely stomp it. I don't think he should win it even. You get a couple of raid bans there, a little bit of help, and you're capable of winning.
I think Grant makes a really cool point, though. It's just a very nice play, because you want to deny the pulling, because that's how Omni would equalize the first couple of levels.
Usually support
now it's pushing into a Morph has an item and a level advantage, so Omni can't play offensive anyway, because there's also creeps coming at him, and the support's not bottom. So you effectively like move the top lane forward in time, you give your Morph a lead, and now you're in a 3-on-3 that's favorable for you. Maybe Koifa does better in a match of mid than he should. Either way, Alliance, you go from a game where you have this Wisp Gyro and then 2 playmakers, Mag and Beastmaster. It's also providing you a vision tool. A Lina and an Omni Knight. These heroes cannot accomplish the same. You want to be able to play with pace with this Wisp lineup, and you fall behind and you don't have a playmaker, game's just over for you.
They just couldn't get out on the map. They couldn't get out on the map, ever. You have this Lina, she looks really great. I mean, in this game, it didn't really look great in the laning stage too. But usually, Lina looks great, you have a lot of burst, you're able to run around the map, use that use, set up kills, maybe go for travels. But they were so constricted on their side that they never made any plays.
Yep.
And they had no chance for comebacks, like for equalizing the game later on?
Well, how? It requires a mistake.
That's the thing, right? You have no team fight, like no team fight damage. You have a Gyro who gets 6 slotted, sure, but you're versus a Morph, but Omni doesn't do damage.
And you have Alina, and her whole...
Single target,
exactly.
if anything,
And she has to be ahead. You have to be finding these pickoffs all the time.
So I think you go back, and I honestly think the IO is going through again. I think it might just not get picked or banned.
What did they ban on Alliance? They banned
Lone Druid, Leshrac, and Disruptor.
Yeah, I
First
think
phase.
you have to swap out the Disruptor for AA, or you leave the Lesh. The problem is Lesh has always been one of the best counters to Wisp, because you just do so much AoE damage. They're often together, you're hitting both, and you just accelerate. You kill towers early, you're a very strong team fighter and split pusher.
I think it's mostly about that though as well, right? You have this ability to constantly pressure to take towers.
All right, let's take a look at who was voted for the MVP. Could we have a drum roll, please?
The entire team.
The entire team of Liquid? Well, actually, this is very, very even. Mickey gets it with 26%, to be honest. He was just dominating on his Morphling.
Yes.
This was just, I mean, from all games, this was a free Morph game, as some people like to call it. It was definitely a walk in the park.
I would agree with this. I think that's fine. I think 33, he did have a rough lane. You know, it's tough being mean, but he did definitely underwhelm that game, so it is what it is.
I think those 19% comes from that dive on the mid lane.
Oh, yeah.
There's an Omni Knight level 6 diving and dive.
So previous game, we had both games be first pick for Liquid.
Yes.
I'm curious if that's going to be the same way around again.
I think that's what you're going for as Alliance. They really like last picking Limp's hero. I just felt like there's nothing you can really pick for Limp in that spot that's going to really change the state of the game. I would have preferred Quap, because then at least you have a playmaker, and specifically a hero that can just like go in and utilize this Omni Knight.
Yeah.
Lina just, it was always going to be underwhelming if you went off to a poor start. As soon as Koifa killed him, we all know it's a game 3.
Yeah, I think it's more on this Omni. I think just give 33 something who does something.
Yeah.
Honestly, like, what if he was a Beastmaster diving that race? He probably would have got the kill, but he's a freaking Omni Knight. Just give him something a little more aggressive.
Yep, I'd like to see him on Beastmaster, Centaur, even his Brewmaster. They haven't had much success with it, but he does play a mean brew. It's just tough. Once you pick this Wisp Gyro, like, it's such a good starting point for the lineup, but there's actually not too many heroes in the meta that fit perfectly in with it. You're almost always going to have holes somewhere, and they were exploited in that last game.
We're going to have a little bit of a hole here too, as we head for a break before game 3.
Rick Gaming Esports, professional esports house maker.
Naughty, I want to dance. I'm so pretty, you're so cutie, I want to dance. I'm so caught up in your love, do you want to dance? I'm so naughty, you're so naughty, I want to dance. Itazuna, anata no se kushina. I want to dance. I want to dance. I want to dance. I want to dance. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Oh, whoa, whoa. Oh, whoa, whoa. Oh, whoa, whoa. naughty, naughty, you're so naughty, naughty. I want to dance. I'm so pretty, pretty. You're so cutie, cutie. I want to dance. I'm so caught up in your love, so caught up in your love. Do you want to dance? I'm so naughty, naughty. You're so naughty, naughty. I want to dance. Wow, wow. You're so sexy. You're so sexy. I want to dance. I want to dance. I want to dance. I want to dance. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Oh, whoa, whoa. Oh, whoa, whoa. Itazula, anata no se kushina. You're so sexy. I want to dance. I want to dance. I want to dance. I want to dance. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Oh, whoa, whoa. Oh, whoa, whoa. Another no kushina. I want to dance.
Where game one was all about the brawling and the fighting, game two was more about the draft and the lanes. I would like game three to be a combination of those two things, because that would make for the most exciting game, I think. As long as we have an even draft, it should be a fun game, right?
I agree. I think these two teams are very evenly matched, and whenever you have an interregional match, we always talk about it, it will be closer because they know each other so well.
Yep, these two especially, they have a big history. They've only faced each other 3 times total, 2 wins for Liquid, 1 for Alliance, but it's old Alliance versus new Alliance, right? So a lot at stake here.
We already have the same bans from Liquid. Alliance changed up the order. They first banned Lesh, now going Naga. They've left Lone Druid in the pool along with everything else we discussed.
Lone Druid and Disruptor. They gotta make their choice.
Yep, so they already switched up the bans. I like this decision. So they leave the Disruptor, so now they could potentially take it themselves. Of course, Liquid's gonna take their trademark tree,
right,
but now Alliance have Disruptor.
Is this another?
Was Gyro? I don't think so.
Because they'll just disrupt you right after three.
I think you could go Disruptor IO if you really want to keep the Wisp involved.
I agree.
But
what do you think? Is Ancient better than Disruptor versus Wisp?
I actually really like Disruptor versus AA because you have no gap close. Like
no, I mean versus Wisp.
Oh, AA is definitely better.
AA definitely.
Yeah, AA
right?
removes a win condition.
So they go with the Lich, all right?
Already switching out. Lich has kind of fallen out of favor the last, like, what, 1 or 2 days, but, you know, it's still in the lane.
It's been banned, though, right? In this series, I think it was banned.
In this series, it has been second phase banned by Liquid in the previous game, and the game before that, it was picked by
So it just fell down a tier, not off. Yeah.
I'd be curious to see how Lich Doom as an opener has fared, though, because this pairing looks fantastic.
It's fantastic.
And Fada, I think, is one of the better Lich players right now. He's also one of the few, I see a lot of Liches going like 4-4-0 at times. He went 2-2-1 in the previous game 1, which I really liked. I hate when you skip like this more than a second disable that also drags them towards you.
I like Lich and Doom in the laning stage because what does Doom lack? That's the armor, right? Yep. And Lich, he can provide that for him. He can also bring him that nuke that is needed on the lane, also the slow so that he can follow up with the Scorched Earth if it's the Lich Doom lane. However, Team Liquid, yesterday I was talking with Insania and he just says, we just find Oracle the meta, it's our meta, it's our pick. We find it really strong versus most heroes at the moment, versus the Liches, versus Treant Protectors as well.
I mean,
and they snatch it.
And it's really good sort of denying a lot of what Liquid might be thinking about, especially now that they've got Oracle. You're not as confident picking something like a Huskar, a Timbersaw even, is rather weak against Doom because you have that max HP damage on your Infernal Blade, plus the ability to delete heroes. Liquid, of course, already have their support duo, so they've given away a bit of information there. No real natural playmaker, but their counter initiation, TPing into towers, is going to be powerful here. So I'd be curious to see what kind of game style Alliance goes for. You can abuse Oracle in the laning phase, but you want to make sure it's not Lich against him.
Yeah, Huskar. You just always take that out, especially against Team Liquid.
Yeah, they also ban out the Wisp. You can see now that AA can't be picked by Liquid. They just get rid of the Wisp because there is still a chance that they...
You could get IO Gyro, absolutely.
Yeah,
they
exactly.
actually would have just like lost the game if they left it through, I think.
Yeah.
Like with the Treant Oracle as your supports, you would have got run over, so you had
and you could forget about that.
Yeah,
that's the worst thing.
You really could, because you're like, oh, they didn't pick it. And you're just like, oh my God, we lost.
I gotta think Drow might make an appearance in this event, this series now, because the meta's kind of been defined by this IO Gyro. What do we do against it?
I would love to see Drow and Slardar on Team Liquid right now. Both went through. Slardar is amazing versus Doom. We also saw this lane, Drow plus Treant versus the Doom yesterday, and it owned him.
In lane, holy smoke, it destroyed.
The Bloodseeker ban has me thinking Liquid's thinking about Slark, which is quite nice, especially when you have two defensive supports. It allows Slark to play that much more aggressive.
Is Slark not just bad for Alliance and they get the next pick, right?
They could get it though.
Yeah,
they could. Nico Baby loves to play that Slark. Like, he's amazing on the hero too. They could snatch it.
At the same time, it's not been doing so hot recently. It's more that now you've got to think about it. Oh, they banned Timber too, so now it could actually just be a swipe Slark. Yep,
there it is. I like that.
Yep,
they banned the Bloodseeker for you. Thanks. It's like we get 3 bans.
There's then the Slardar coming out from Liquid. They've been playing that against Slark successfully.
But it's not the same as Timbersaw though. Like we saw Tree Timber, even when it was run by EG, absolutely body Slark. It's not the same.
Didn't they play Slardar plus Drow versus Slark and Doom?
Yeah.
It was that game, and they bodied them, right? It worked out really well for them.
I wouldn't doubt it, right? I think you take Slardar here, and
if it worked before, why not again?
Why not? Indeed, they do indeed take the fish.
And this draft, it'll be curious to see. I figure Alliance has got to have a curveball, because here's the thing. If we can tell you what the draft is going to be like because of what's occurred earlier in the tournament, you know the teams have that preparation as well. I'm sure they're holding printouts, looking at Liquid like, they win Drow after this. What would we want if we know they're going to fourth a Drow?
I completely agree with you, but I believe Slark was the answer to the Drow in that game. Or maybe they picked Drow afterwards. But usually in this meta, Slark is a common pick because of the Drow resurgence, right? You pick the Slark to be able to catch her, to gap close.
But if you can't team fight, it's not relevant, because you have to be able to actually stand in fights. The problem Slark's been having is they enter and then they're just bodied out of the engagement, and Drow just ends up killing your team. Keep in mind as well that the Slardar amp, even if it targets Lich armored, the Drow eras still do max damage. Why are you giggling?
That's the sign.
Because of the sign.
Oh, I didn't.
Sign was good.
Cannot repeat it here.
Sorry, I'm paying attention to the draft.
The same, Kyle. Some of us, don't have one-track minds here, and we can focus on 2 things at once.
Never been a strong suit for me.
Now, do you think they just snapped the Drow then?
No,
on Liquid, not on Alliance.
Alliance is thinking now, because they see it coming. So the problem is you don't want to pick something expecting a hero, and then they just don't do it, and now you feel silly. Yeah.
So you want to have a hero that can do well against the Drow and can be just overall good.
You're committing now. You want to save Limp's last pick, so you're committing to either Doom 3 or Doom 4. It's likely a 3/3 hero. I think it's his best.
Yeah.
So it's what do you want for Hanskin here is the question. There you go.
You finally have you got some more team fight now. You got some lockdown to set up team fight.
I think it's really important that they go with the Wyvern because of the draw possibility on Team Liquid. It's one of those heroes that just crushes draw lineups, as you can stop that 5-man, that constant 5-man that they start doing after the laning stage.
It's also a second BKB piercing disable AoE this time. Really good against the Slardar because you just embrace whoever gets initiated on and amped up. They're not going to be taking any damage, and you don't
and you can
really
fly
have anything
over trees.
to reach Wyvern.
You can fly over trees, you can find Taiga, that's also a plus.
Yeah, it's quite nice, and you wanted to have some sort of save mechanism for your
They
Spark.
just do. I think, now we're at this point where both teams are just going to play their own game, and Liquid, they're looking like they want to win this pretty early again. They want to take that laning phase, but it's so much harder versus Lich, Doom, Slark in the lane.
Oh. I hope everything's okay.
Kyle, are you okay?
Kyle, are you okay? What did you do?
Nothing, I don't think.
I think Owen and Cinder are on that side. I wonder what they did.
Yeah, that's fine. They've been through worse.
Yeah. I like the way this draft has gone. As you said, it's a game 3. You're fighting for elimination and a berth in the top 4. You know, just go with your comfort zone and try and play better than the other team.
Yep.
Nice OD ban. That would have been very frustrating for you to play against. You're looking for, I think, a Koifa hero here. I feel like a Quap could be a possibility still.
Got about some Storm for him as well.
Yep, you're right. It's been banned last
pool,
by Alliance both games. I would not be surprised to just see them in Insta Storm.
Viper.
This is the same draft.
Same draft, exactly.
The exact same draft they had against TNC game 1 yesterday.
It's good really versus Clark, right? It's good versus Clark with another Toxin. And it's just this beefy mid laner that doesn't necessarily lose to... What can win? Arc Ward?
I don't know, but you
actually Arc Ward is good versus Drow and Viper.
You could sniper. I feel like you really need a Manta hero, and you'd prefer a ranged hero. So some Manta BKB.
I think either of those are good. Sniper, Arc Warden.
I don't see Limp is not an Arc Warden player.
No.
What does well against Viper, right? You just want to counter pick. You just want to give Koifa a good lane.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Is it still possible?
You have so much frontline, though. I think you need something like a little greedier, too. Because right now, Alliance might just get owned in the late game. Oracle and Tree are deceptively, like, very powerful late game supports because they provide so much save and team fight. And your 3 cores, like you have a Slardar, Drow Viper, like these will scale.
Will you just
have to remember
Limp and Magnus again?
That's a possibility. You have to remember that Liquid.
I like that.
Ooh.
All right.
Okay.
It's a pick versus Viper.
Yeah.
Okay. You have
it's really nice against the Drow, but...
Don't you just get amped and eat by the Drow and die in 2 shots because you have 800 total HP?
Also, you have Purge versus her.
You know what?
Pretty good. You have Lockdown.
What?
Limp opened this tournament on the Wind Ranger. And there is a chance that with the Wind Ranger again, he'll close it out as well. We're going to find out which team will move forward, which team will get the honor of facing Evil Geniuses later today. Liquid Alliance, Game 3.
Everything on the line now for these 2 teams. Game 3 of Alliance versus Liquid, and we have seen from the draft, Liquid's in, they're coming in with that strong old draft of the Drow, Viper, Slardar. Alliance, they sort of hesitated on that last pick. They feel that the best thing to send to that mid lane is gonna be the Wind Ranger. What do you reckon about this?
I feel like it's a pretty hit or miss hero, but obviously Alliance have played it before this tournament. Lim feels really confident on it as well. It has its merits this game. I think it's pretty good in lane against the Viper. I think it's good against Drow in the game, somewhat at least, having that guaranteed physical dodge, except it obviously doesn't work against marksmanship, procs, and volley. But, you know, it works against the rest. Yeah, I think this game will be way more interesting than the last one. I'll say that first off, because I don't think any team can put as dominant lanes and win the early game as hard as previously. So we're going to get some nice mid-game team fights, I think.
Yeah, we'll see what the lane setup's going to be this time round. Boxy last time was obviously involved in that aggressive tri-lane. For this one, it's maybe likely that he's left on his own, and the focus from Liquid is just to keep their Drow safe in that laning stage. Up top, bit of a poke from Tiger. They're going to turn and blast back onto him with the Scorched Earth. They will look to run Tiger down. Tiger, I don't know if he cannot escape. This uphill miss will be there, but the damage from the Scorched Earth does finally tick him down.
That might even be a little bit of a blessing that he missed that shot, so Doom could get the first blood. I think they'd rather have that gold on him to start off. Get maybe some fast phase boots or whatever he feels like in this lane. So the armor of even a chainmail is really good this game to have in the laning stage.
And we can see, you know, after this sort of aggressive trio has been revealed by Alliance, Liquid, they do respond. They're going to send Mickey down to the bottom, and they'll allow Boxy to sort of be there up top to allow Mickey to have this safer space to farm on the bottom half of the map.
Yeah, they're going to TP swap, so Doom will go bottom, Slark TP top. Now you've locked your cores in a lane each, and now you get to choose where you place your supports. They obviously still have their TPs ready. Doom has the buckler, and I'm assuming, was that what he spent his gold on? Probably was. So yeah, got the buckler to start from that first blood gold, and probably going to get a chainmail next to standing as that Drow in lane.
So this mid lane, we'll see how well Limp is able to play against Quaker. As you said, what you feel the Wind Ranger, like having the Wind Run and the nuke potential from the power shot is enough to skillfully outplay the Viper and not be in a position where Viper's going to be able to kill you.
I think the matchup especially gets Wind Ranger favored on level 6 with a Javelin, as Viper has to choose between TPing out or standing and fighting back, but the fighting back part doesn't really work unless you have a stun coming in to keep Limp in place. Another thing about this is a lot of the reason Viper has got a lot of popularity lately is its ability to win lanes by maxing poison attack as well as bypassing Nether Toxin rather. But in this lane that doesn't really work, so you kind of might have to go for the Nether Toxin build this time around.
I will say, again, obviously they've moved Mickey back up to the top, and Boxy's now the one to be left alone bottom. We'll see where the Doom wants to head in response for that as he goes towards the jungle, probably just looking for the creeps to find, and he will find the one that he wanted.
Yay, ice armor.
Yeah, that's the armor. So that Nico Baby's actually going to get the kill onto Tiger. Looks like Tiger, again, just a little bit too aggressive with his positioning, as the trio lineup of Alliance on that top lane, they have a lot of kill potential.
Yeah, it's a pretty strong lane. Slark has a little bit of weakness in lane against physical attacks, but you give him that Frost Shield. You have Wyvern doing tons of magic damage with 2 spells, and Slark can stay on top of targets with the million slows that they have. And every time he gets a kill, it's that extra agility. Can build up pretty quickly to give you that nice little edge in the lane. A little bit more armor, a little more damage. Goes a long way. And on the flip side, I think Liquid's lane kind of sucks, honestly. It's okay once maybe Drow hits level 3 or level 5, so you have the high damage volley, but right now, Oracle as well wants to hit the level 3 for the strong Purifying Flames. Treant is not the strongest right now against this kind of lane either, so I think Alliance feel pretty happy with the way they've set their lanes this time. You're going to end up having Doom against Slaughter. That's tough, but outside of that, it's really good.
Top. Again, looking to get on top of Mickey this time. Yeah, the living armor's enough, and he can turn with the multi-shot. In fact, Nico Baby, he'll get nuked down. Insania has another Purifying Flames to do the job. They'll try and chase down Fada a little bit too. Mickey has to be careful still. The Splinter Blast pushing him back, the damage.
I think he had a Magic Wand and Fairy Fire on the Drow. I think Alliance got a little bit surprised by just how much he could reset there. Nicely done from Mickey. That's a big kill, honestly. You have this huge wave coming into your tower now. That means Nico Baby lost some CS as well on his way back to lane. You might find your level 3 on at least one of these heroes. Not bad. But man, Drow CS is bad. He needed it so much.
5 and 6 in that safe lane.
It's rough. Rough times. He's finding a couple in the tower. That'll help.
And Alliance, they're going to be likely to just keep this tri-lane here going because they know that every time that wave pushes away from the tower, it just gets in a position where Mickey, he can't confidently sit there. They'll dive upon him each and every time. A mid lane matchup, 21 for 6, 21 for 2. Very even, as expected. Limp picking the Swim Ranger, showing us that it is indeed a hero that can farm very reliably against the Viper, and a hero that Viper cannot bully straight up out of lane.
And Limp had a level advantage. He is about half a level ahead, so as soon as he hits that level 6, you might see him try for a kill mid. I'm not sure if he bought the Javelin or not, if he's taking that route. Nice damage being done. I think Hanskin will be fine here, though. Just barely.
Nico Baby, he actually salved up back to full HP. He's ready to turn. In with the pounce. Gets himself another. They've even got the slow onto Mickey. Mickey in potential trouble. Insane will purge the slow off, but Nico Baby is onto him. A couple more hits. Ooh, stick charges will heal him up, but it's not enough to save him as Nico Baby dives in, gets the double kill. So 3 kills now for Nico Baby in this top lane. 3 permanent stacks of the Essence Shift. He's having a brilliant start here. Again, this time around, it's Alliance that has set up this tri-lane that it's just succeeding in all fronts.
Yeah, the good news for Liquid is, of course, the bottom lane going very much Slardr's way, as it should. One of Doom's harder lane matchups, I would say one of the worst that you realistically see in this meta. The worst is probably Bat Rider, unless you find a Purge Creep. Well, let's try to find back here. Well, the Ice Armor is definitely helping.
Yeah, not really a kill that Boxy can go for. I mean, when he has the 6, he probably will have enough armor reduction even through the Ice Armor to outplay 33 if 33 hangs around low HP.
You gotta be worried about him having Doom, though. That's the problem. And yeah, the net worth doesn't really reflect the CS of this lane. It's obviously Devour bonus will help the Doom quite a bit. He does indeed skill Doom now, and he got a chainmail. So that's 11 armor between, or is it 10? 10 armor between the chainmail and the Ice Armor. So that will pretty much negate this Corrosive Haze. Force the Scorched Earth, though. Doxy's got, this is a dance here. You gotta know your limits really well.
Yeah, on both heroes.
Yeah, for sure. You can quickly turn around with Doom, get a Doom off, and maybe kite him around a bit. At the same time, Slardar with an extra bash. If you don't count the hits, you can die, so. But yeah, Alliance off to a much better start than last game. That's the big change here, is that it feels like they're gonna get to play the game. Surprisingly to me, Limp didn't even skill his ulti, actually, on level 6. He's gone 0-4-3 build, just really focusing on pushing out the wave with Power Shot, harassing Koik for that way, forcing him to buy extra regen. He did not go the Javelin. He's finishing Phase Boots double null. So taking more of a farming approach than a pressure approach here. It's all right.
I mean, maybe feels that, yeah, just sort of building. If he went for the Javelin Rush and goes for those sort of dives, TP reactions are likely to be in from Liquid, whether it be Treant offering up living armor or Insania coming over to quickly turn around the play. And bottom, Nico Baby's going to actually head down here now. They're switching the lanes up.
This lane is not playable for Slark unless he gets help, but he obviously will. Man, the damage though.
Insania's going to be hit to back up the Slardar, and with the living armor as well, he can push on. Nico Baby is getting nuked down low. He has the Frost Shield, and with that, that's it still goes down. Insania, one more Purifying Flames. It did do it. They will lose both heroes for that, and they do both go the way of 33. So losing your Slark, but 33's game just got that little bit better. Gets a double kill on the Doom.
And you killed the Slardar. That's the top net worth in the enemy team, so you'll probably take that. Now what is happening though is that the space is opening up a little bit for the Drow Ranger. She's starting to have a little more room to grow now or a little more space to grow with the Slark leaving this lane and Doom also staying bottom for this past minute. Mickey is now going to get his level 5. That'll make the volley that bit stronger unless he chooses to skill Gust. At this point, wouldn't mind seeing a value point in that. There's a lot of in-your-face stuff, both Doom and Slark and Windranger, gusting these heroes away can be very useful. Sometimes you see Drows go 2-0-4 and they die twice and you're like, man, that 1 point would have just changed everything in my game. So, see if he does choose to go for that or not.
And you know, for Limp, is it important to sort of see him make those moves? I mean, where's sort of the easy kill potential for Limp to go? Is it that top lane?
I think he has friends in both lanes, really, to play with. He doesn't have to go to either lane specifically. It's more about what's the bigger objective. Like, if you go top, are you planning to do some tower damage? He has Focus Fire now. A play I would like to see him do is actually, oh, there you go, doing some damage. Hanskin will be fine, though. I'd like to see him play more aggressive in this mid lane. Just push the wave out and Focus Fire the tower. Force Koikva to come in lane so that he doesn't find that jungle farm on the Viper. But for now, they have chosen to put the Slark there instead to try to min-max. If that's what they're doing, I would like to see Limp make a move top. So then you can Focus Fire that tower. There's going to be 10-minute siege creeps. You could make this play around, get the top outpost and Bounty Rune into a siege creep push. I think that would be a really nice timing for them.
He's going to start moving up in now.
Icing on the cake would be to bring Fatsa for the play and give him the tome. Then he's going to be level 6 and you have Chain Frost going into that tower fight. That would be really, really good for them. That'd be just an outpost trade here, as is the norm. This time the teams are getting the usual side, which is the offlane side outpost.
And then we'll pick up a haste rune, so this will enable him a little bit more to make this play up top. He's heading over, already Liquid, they are backing far away. They know that this is likely to be coming in from them, as they did have vision on him farming in that jungle area. They see that he's left it, they know he's going to be here now as he shows himself. And they don't want to try and fight them directly as just the two of them. They know the Alliance is strong, with 33 having the Doom ready to drop. Now they'll bring him back up, so now they have got a chance to contest. Actually,
oh, he got cancelled.
It is, it's going to be stopped. Looks like he cancelled himself. Decided that actually wasn't a place that he wanted to be quite.
It's a free tower now. The moment you see a Viper TP cancelled, you know this tower is ours. Like, there is nothing they can do about it. And that's a big grab. You open up the map first. Liquid have done nothing in the way of pushing at all. I don't even know if they've dealt any tower damage, it feels like.
I mean, would you like to have seen Koifa complete that TP and try and defend, or was it the right call to say, actually, we can't fight these heroes at the moment?
I think he jumped the gun, so he probably had to cancel. You need more heroes for that defense if you do want to hold it. I think trying to defend there would have probably been worth it. Like, this is a relatively important tower to give up this early against this kind of lineup. Slark gets some more safety, more space to work with. You have both Slark and Windranger that don't really mind playing that area of the map so much. Even Wyvern can push it out and get to safety. Doom gonna get purged on his ice armor. Lol, just cast it again. You have lower cooldown and lower mana cost in Fortune's End, so what are you gonna do?
Oh, 6 for 2, very even in net worth this game. It's going to be about these timings for Liquid's playmakers. Boxy's going to go straight for the Blink Dagger this game to make sure that he can be that initiation, that sort of front line to get in with the Crush, the Corrosive Haze, and allow Mickey to sit back and fire out with a multi-shot to make the most of that potent combo. So they've got a little bit of a wraparound from Tiger. Tiger watching from the side just in case Fada does step up a little too far. Tiger still spotting things out. Does kind of sort of reveal that he is around as he drops that ward that instantly gets dewarded by Fata. And just a bit of a farm fest at the moment from both sides. And one that Alliance overall is coming out on top of. They're just making the bit more better use of this space that's been granted, with the Liquid still waiting until they're really ready to make aggressive moves themselves.
It's a 1k lead with Devour. It's not that big of a deal. I would say this game is pretty much completely even right now, except the tower. That's what really matters, is they have opened up the map. And the question is, what can you do next? Do you try something with a 15-minute siege creep in mid, perhaps? Or are you just going to be content to farm and spread out the map a little bit? Because Liquid's lineup has some very dangerous scaling potential for sure that you have to be worried about. Corrosive Haze is amazing later on, and if we should go super late, it actually counters Slark at some point. You can take the 25 talent to make it undispellable, and that is a problem, because then Slark is constantly going to be targetable, take a lot of damage, in vision.
I mean, that's true. I mean, as you said, that's obviously a long way away, but if it gets there, something that there really is no counterplay to.
It's an insane talent when you think about it.
Yeah.
It's actually just incredible.
For now, for sure, one of the strongest in the game in terms of just the talent specific. That's bottom.
Oh, Fata.
going to start getting aggressive there. It's going to be a Chain Frost thrown out.
Oh, that's not a good force step, actually. That did more harm than good, almost. Oh, it's bouncing on the creep!
It's going to bounce
Oh, my God.
I mean, that Chain Frost well and truly messed them up. I mean, fair play, he had to force back and try and get away, but the bounces between him and Sadia and the creeps, they couldn't have been any better for Alliance. They get both the kills.
It's one of those moments where Insane is just like, man, that was, that's just proper.
I mean, could he have forced a slightly different angle?
He can wait until, like, if he holds, it's a tough decision to make, right? Because if you wait longer, you risk Quake for getting jumped near the tower. Maybe if you wait half a second, you can run away the Chain Frost first, so you get that out of the way, and then you can force that Quake when he might live. But yeah, all in all, just heads-up play from Fada to get it off that quickly. He needs to get that Chain Frost off, or it's just a flat-out kill. And the turnaround from Alliance, very good there.
Yeah, well, the Liquid will think twice about trying to make plays like that again. Diving under the tower, they felt that they just would have the capabilities to kill quick enough with the Corrosive Haze, but it was not the
big
case.
Items.
And Alliance, they're ready to try and make something happen around it. Limp and Fada will smoke out. We'll see if Nico Baby wants to join them for this play. It may just be them looking to find some solo kill action themselves. If Limp gets a shackle into the focus fire, he'll be able to find these one-on-one kills.
Alliance have found. We're so used to the neutral items, now you just find every item. He's bought a Diffusal Blade on the Slark, and we have the Dagger for Slardar. So both teams getting their hands on something big. Getting their hands on Tiger would be nice too. He's in trouble. Yeah. Focus fire.
He's trying to juke it around the trees.
He's doing a pretty damn good job.
I mean, he really is. They'll clear out the trees with the power shot. Nico Baby looking for the pounce. The pounce won't land, but the shackle shot will. They will get him.
That was actually just flat out perfect movement. That was super nice from Taiga, but not enough.
And now Liquid will try. They know that the side of Alliance, they threw heroes up on the top lane to get that kill. Bit of space is now there for them to push bottom, but TPs are still up, so Alliance are going to come in and defend this. It's Quakefoot. Position very aggressively. They'll start to go on him. They'll pull him in with the Sinister Gaze. Quakefoot very aggressively positioned as he turns towards Fada, but the shackle shots in and Sania gives him some sort of safety, heals him up. Liquid will get themselves away from this tier 1. They're still looking at it, still poking at the chance to get in. The multi-shot won't do that much at all onto 33, but the tower is falling down. And Alliance, it looks like they'll let it be. They don't want to try and hold onto the tower as low as it is. They'll let Liquid take this.
I love it from Alliance, though, that they are trying to make this defense and buy time. Like, either if Liquid weren't as careful or as intelligent about the placement of their heroes, they could have even won a fight there. But the worst case scenario is the tower still falls, Liquid bring huge numbers, and you have a Slark free farm the other side of the map in the meantime. So you delayed them a good half a minute there, and even made Alliance made Liquid place a ward aggressively as well to make this tower play that they might not have felt the necessity of, they might not have felt the need to do it if there was no defense coming in. So I think it's worth it overall. Starting to equalize the game though. After all, I'm not quite sure where Liquid conjured this gold from. I mean, there's a bit of tower gold. There's a Slark free farming for a minute and a half almost. So.
Structures are fortified.
Clark, we're going to be annoying mid. He's going to glyph the wave that Limp was power shotting. So trying to get a bit of momentum going here mid. I think this smoke is. That was under ward. Oh, okay. Yeah, where does Alliance think they're going to strike?
Yeah, Alliance could set up for the counterplay. I mean, at the moment, just hugging their tier 1.
They're perfectly set up. They have an Observer ward. They have Fata in the trees. They're baiting 33 now.
He does manage to get himself on top of 33, and 33, he'll fall to this smoke movement from Liquid despite Alliance spotting it all out. They'll now bring in the numbers, Alliance. Do they really want to try and fight this, though, without their Doom? Nico Baby, he's looking towards Quakefoot. Still a very rough target to commit on, especially with the backup that Quakefoot has. They're just going to have to stand back, and it looks like just watch themselves lose another tier 1 tower. Nico Baby's looking for supports on the side. Does find Tiger in the trees. Tiger, again, he's out of there. They know that they cannot commit onto the heroes. They've got to let Liquid get away with this. As the shackle's out, he's trying to hold them back. Chain Frost as well, but it cannot protect Hansken as he ticks down to the poison of Quakefoot. They get 2 kills and they get a tier 1 tower. Despite that smoke being seen, Liquid could still make a fantastic sequence of events occur off the back of it.
Yeah, I think Alliance had a bad read on how tanky their Doom was. They sent him into the fray. They they very clearly wanted him to get jumped the way he was moving. They had Frost Shield in the back to protect him, and he had Ice Armor on. They still pierced that with the Corrosive Haze, Viper's damage, and the Drow multi-shot. And then they kind of just cleaned up a little extra one there with Hanskin trying to defend with Splinter. It didn't really work, lose the tower too. It's a very good sequence from Liquid. And in all honesty, when you see a smoke like that, you would expect Alliance to at least get something out of it, instead of just losing it like they weren't smoked to begin with. But
and this is giving the chance for Liquid to get those important lines on both Mickey and Quoifer. The Hurricane Pikes, they're pretty much both out, so now that extra mobility to break away from some of these commitments from Nico Baby, it's going to be a lot harder for him to get involved in the fights. I mean, already we saw Shaw at the start of the game, he was getting his kills in the lane, but in this mid-game, it's very, very difficult. The Aghanim's is going to help out, have that opportunity to close the gap, even if they do break away from the initial pounce. But still, then you're diving deep and farther away from your team and into territory where Insania is going to be available to offer up saves if anybody gets committed on.
I think the bigger thing about the Axe this game is his ability to reset. Like, he can go in, do something, and get out and wait again. Usually the problem Slark runs into, almost no matter what item you buy except this, is that when you're in, you're in. You have to use your pounce to get in. You have to use your either BKB or ulti to stay in, and then you're kind of out of juice. And that's where this Aghanim's has really come in handy for the hero with the change, is that you get to play this weaving style that the hero wants with way less commitment when you go in. And what Stark really wants in this game is he wants to pounce in, get a couple of hits out, use his Dark Pact, and jump out again. Rinse and repeat a couple of times. Maybe you start the fight with 30 extra agility. That can be the difference maker. It's a big item here too. We've got the BKB on Windranger. There's a drums on Hanskin, so a little bit of a spike in the strength of Alliance, but guess what? There's a hammer on the Treant.
Tiger's going to be there with that follow-up control. Anytime the Boxy gets the lead in, or even Insania with the root from afar, there's going to be that setup for Tiger to continue to lock down Alliance's pretty squishy heroes, especially if the BKB does not get used in time. That's Liquid. We'll see what the next focus is. They're around the pit.
Both smoke.
Alliance are going to start walking over and looking to contest this. They have their ultimates, and they have some great ults to use around the pit, especially with that Wyvern Curse. Liquid will take Roche pretty quickly, though. It does get spotted out, but it's too late. They got the kill with it. He actually got the kill with the power shot. Limp does manage to get something. And now they'll turn onto Boxy, pulling him in. They'll kill off the Slardar. Nico Baby, he's onto the backlines. The Tomb is dropped down the chain from really good. Beautiful from Fada. Alliance is in. They kill off the Oracle. They kill off the Viper. They pop the Aegis. They'll surround Mickey, look to take him down a second time with Nico Baby on top of him. He's in trouble. It's a buyback from Insania, but Nico Baby moves over to the Oracle and dieback from him as they are just cruising across Liquid. Alliance, from that Roshan snipe from Limp to an excellent fight, despite Liquid being the ones that got the Aegis. They're not even done yet. They had over Quoifer. He brought back as well. He cannot escape. There's no hope for him. Another dieback on Liquid.
Oh, no. Surely, okay. No, okay.
It's going to be another. Look at these essence shifts. 35. I mean, the Liquid have just, what? I mean, I guess that snipe on Roshan for Limp, it just broke Liquid. They just sort of gave up. They were like, all right, that was a nice play. We'll let you win the team fight and a half. Diebacks around.
It's just, there are so many things going right for Alliance in this fight. First, the thing that starts it off is the curse that Hanskin gets out that forces Oracle ulti early in the fight. And it gives Slark so much more freedom. He shows up with the Axe to this fight. You're going to see it right here. The curse will get used, or it was already used, sorry. And the Oracle ulti was used here. The amazing Chain Frost that bounces through all of them.
Slark, he couldn't have played that any more perfect. Nico Baby knew exactly where to be. Doesn't mess around with Mickey. As soon as he knows that Insania is coming in, he gets himself past the Drought, goes for the Oracle. He knows it's so easy to kill him a second time, and there's nothing that Liquid can do to keep Nico Baby off it. And he chases them up and down the map, coming back in mid, killing off Tiger. He's now 2k ahead of any of the cores of Liquid. And I mean, that was a huge shake-up for Liquid. They were having control, they were hitting these timings, they were going for Roche, everything looked to be laid out and clear and simple for them, but Alliance has shaken them up real bad now.
There were just so many things that aligned. the curse, the axe from Slark coming in, the fact that Liquid were in the pit, right? Like the positional disadvantage you have when the fight starts right outside the pit at that time. There were just so many things going right for Alliance, and I mean, if they don't get the last hit on the Roche, who cares? They were still going to win the fight the exact same way. So.
Well, that's how it's just extra salt in the wounds for Liquid.
Absolutely.
All those little things piecing together to really make this game look pretty hard now for Liquid to swing round. You're now having to deal with this Slark that's very, very big. Like, Nico Baby is we saw Insane, he cannot save enough people. He can put the false points down at once, but once this Slug has these sort of items, it doesn't matter. If at the end of the day, the false promise just benefits the Slug. He gets more time to build up the essence shift stacks.
And it's inherently a really bad matchup for Oracle, I think, when you get jumped yourself. Usually the tools Oracle has to delay would be to disarm the enemy carry or root them in place a little bit. Slark can remove both of those with a very low cooldown on the Dark Pact. He keeps sitting on you with pounce, and you have to choose, am I going to ulti myself or am I going to die? If you ulti yourself, it's kind of like dying anyway. You give him some more stacks and you can't save your core. If you die, you better have a buyback or things can get nasty. So, yeah, that was absolutely... I feel like the fight is like 2 minutes ago and we're still talking about it because of how important and how much happened.
It was that sort of impressive of a fight to see just seemingly out of nowhere. In a game that was pretty slow paced up until that point. You know, Liquid were just going about their business, and Alliance, they strike hard. Even the blink picked up by Wyvern now, so extra ways to mimic Boxy. He's going for Fada, but 33 was waiting in the trees, turns with the Doom. Insania's coming in, trying to help out, does have the false promise, but it's still going to be a lot of damage laid down onto this Slardar. See if he's going to have enough heals to get him out after the false promise ends. Goes for the blink away, and he will live, but Insania's going to lose his life. Quite's trying to TP. Limp, he's got the TP cancel with the shackle shot. It is just a disaster after disaster now for Liquid. They are crumbling.
That's worse than Slardar dying. The best case scenario here is that Oracle saves Slardar and Oracle dies. That was the absolute best thing that could have happened for Liquid, but this extra casualty on Koifa. Oh,
look who he's found.
This is even worse if Mika dies. Second
he's gonna have another pounce. The TP will be cancelled. As Liquid, he's got the spider legs, he's gonna cliff himself. There'll be another pounce to jump up there though. Nico Baby's just gotta line himself up. The gust will stop the potential for a pounce for now. Mickey will live a little longer on his hill, and he's able to climb back down with the spider legs, but Nico Baby jumps across, and he'll still get the kill. This Slug, it hit the game, it's his to play, it's his to win right now. It's 19-6, 9K ahead, and Liquid just seemingly a mess.
Tiger's dead.
He's using the ult, he's trying to hide, but if anything, it's just buying more time for Nico Baby to come sliding over. 13 permanent essence shift stacks now on the Slug.
And 26 temporary. That's a lot of agility. You can easily go and push or look for Roche maybe if it's up soon.
Oh, he's out on his own. Will be able to force up to the high ground before they find him.
Never mind that one. But yeah, mid tower. Slug is gonna just use his stacks to farm for now. They feel very confident that they don't need him in mid, and they're absolutely right in thinking that. You know, no Treant, no Drow. It's not like Liquid can put up any sort of a defense right now. And that tower is gone. They're being very efficient about this. 2 or 3 heroes pushing mid, Hanskin's pushing top, Slark was farming jungle, and now they're gonna regroup after taking this tier 2 and start making a potential team move, or at least being in the proximity of each other to help. This is textbook min-maxing.
And Liquid, they are heading out. They're looking to play from the high ground, see if anyone steps up on Alliance. Nico Baby moves over. He's going to see them, trying to pounce towards the back lines. He's drawing them away. Will be disarmed for now. The shackle, though, again, Limp. He's just soloing down Quite, but Insane is able to come in, offer up the false promise. But again, Liquid, they're just having to run away. They cannot fight into this. Alliance are too strong. They're going to kill off Quite. Insane is gone. The Doom's down onto the Slardar. Alliance, they pick up a third. And you can see Nico Baby, he's diving into the base. He's looking to try and chase for more. He's gusted, slowed down a little bit, but he's still in range for the Diffusal Blade slow. There's no buybacks on Liquid. They cannot do anything to help out Mickey dead, 4 gone on Liquid, pouncing over Nico Baby, he wants more. Tiger will be able to hide in the trees, but Alliance It seems like they have just broken Liquid. Liquid seemingly have just lost any sort of concept on how to play the game.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
It's a lot harder to play without a hero zone. It's not easy, man. They've been dying and dying and dying a bit more. Never really managing to find a team fight on their terms. I think the most underwhelming thing for me this game was honestly the Viper. It hasn't really seemed like it had any effect. The Windranger counterpick definitely worked wonders for Alliance in this game. And just that one Roche moment, you know, this is one of those replays where you go back and watch and you're like, what the hell happened? Like, how did we lose 8 heroes and kill none, or like 1? I think they got a Lich out of that. That's the moment that decided the game. Like, if Liquid don't even do that Roche, who knows where we would be right now. That doesn't mean it was a bad play to begin with. Alliance just had the right read and came at the right time. The game was very even at that point. It's just a huge swing in one moment. And a little bit of extra luck on the power shot lasted, obviously. You can't plan for that.
And ever since, you know, I mean, just the aggression that Alliance is stuck with, and Nico Baby in particular, he knows the exact limits of this hero. The way that he's been chasing kill after kill, it's so terrifying for Liquid to play against. It's very hard for them to deal with the way that Nico Baby just throws himself at them every single fight. It's Nico Baby level 22, he's got the Basher. He's very, very close to having a completed Abyssal Blade. So now not only having the pounces to get on top of them, the Abyssal Blade active as well will mean that it's going to be almost just impossible for any core to show themselves. Nico Baby will just beeline straight for them, and especially Insania. He's got so much work cut out for him this game. There's just doesn't seem to be enough saves that he can offer to keep his teammates alive.
Yeah, the problem is here for Liquid is wrapping your head around how you start a fight now. Because if you don't do anything, Alliance will keep playing the map, and whenever they feel like they will take the fight to you. Obviously, Aegis will help them out as well.
Radiant's bottom tower.
It's tough because you have this one jump, right? You have the Slaughter going in, or arguably maybe a Blink Overgrowth. That's not really going to cut it though. Who do you go on? Whenever you look at these games and it feels like there's no good target, that's when things get really difficult, right? You go on the Lich, he gets saved by Wyvern. You go on the Wyvern, he gets saved by Lich. You go on any of the cores, they get saved by both. And your lineup is, I want to say at this point, like 90% physical damage against Lich Wyvern. Dude, that's rough, man. Like, how are you actually killing a hero?
I mean,
and if you don't and the fights drag out, you know who's going to win. It's the little slippery fishy boy.
Yep.
So.
And he's been doing so every single time. Nico Baby in, trying to force spell usage out of Insania. Turn with the Gust, instantly removed by the Lotus, and in he goes again. Nico Baby jumps in with the Abyssal Blade onto Insania in the curve. It catches the 3 of them, and they'll lose Insania, dying to his own drow. Nico Baby onto Mickey once more. Mickey steps back, turns with the Gust. They'll see if they can bring down the Slark. Cold Embrace comes out from Hansken, giving Nico Baby those heals, and he still has that Aegis. They'll kill him the once. Can they do it again? They've used 2 buybacks here, Liquid. They need something absolutely massive to have any chance of swinging this around. I don't think it's going to be there, though, as Nico Baby turns, kills off another. Tiger's dead. Mickey goes back to the fountain. False Promise will save him. But Alliance just push Liquid all the way back. They turn back to focusing the barracks. Nico Baby, another defensive pounce away. They've still got the Doom to fight with Alliance. And it's 3 buybacks Liquid are having to use to give them one more chance to stay in this game.
And all they got was an Aegis. They didn't get a single kill that gave them any sort of comeback in that. And arguably it was because Alliance got too hungry, right? They started diving, and who knows, Nico Baby might not even have died if he didn't get cold embraced. It kind of set up a Meteor Hammer and the full damage combo from Liquid doing that. So, yeah. Times are tough if you're a Liquid fan. And they're great if you're an Alliance fan. You're very, very close to top 4.
No, absolutely. And the way they're doing it, it's, you know, sure, Liquid, they've had some rough plays off the back of that initial fight round Roshan when everything started to go Alliance's way, but you have to commend this way that Alliance is playing. They know exactly how to use their strengths right now. In they go again, onto Insania. There's a dive back. He's gone for 70. They're being dove into the fountain. Mickey is gone. He'll buy back, but Quaifa, he falls as well. He does have his buyback available. Nico Baby's just straight in again, onto the drow, hitting away. Mickey will fall, dead for good. Tiger tries to set up with with the overgrowth. The chain frost thrown out by Fada. They catch Sada outside of the base. Doom is dropped down. Nico Baby is ready to dive. He's ready to force them into submission, and there it is. GG is called. Alliance take game 3, take the series as they just break Liquid here in front of the live audience. I mean,
I said it was going to be a closer game than the last game, and it was. It really was for a while.
For a little bit of time.
We had a good 15-20 minutes, and then at the snap of a finger, Alliance take probably the biggest teamfight win of maybe the tournament in terms of like how much it impacted the game and their chances of going far.
Yeah, in terms of game defining, that team fight, it was a piece of art. And it all started with that cute little snipe from Limp on the Roshan. And that point onwards, it was all downhill for Liquid. They had it felt maybe after that one fight there could have still been a chance for them to swing it around, but then they started to make all these strange sort of plays where they fed hero after hero. These side lane pushes were punished every single time, and you could feel the blood must have been rushing for Nico Baby. He was just pumped up and ready to fight, ready to kill for the rest of that game.
I mean, Slark is one of those heroes where when you get momentum in the fight, it's kind of, you know, you're feeling yourself.
Oh, yeah.
You're jumping one guy to the next. Just awesome stuff from him and from the whole team. That was a very good performance.
Yeah, well, an excellent show from Alliance as we'll pass you back to the panel. I mean, that's exactly what you want to see from a team moving on. You know that they're ready to give their next contender a great fight.
Yeah.
It really is. Thank you so much, Odie, Pixel, and Cinnamon. That game, I mean, I don't know. I personally enjoyed watching a Wind Ranger play regardless. So I'm a little bit biased in that regard. But I don't know. I think Limp just made everybody look at that hero like, maybe we should try that too.
Yeah, and he went a little different build in the beginning. We see a lot of people just go very early Javelin, but he got double null phase boots and he had an Ironwood tree. He was statted up and I was like, is this good? And well, yeah.
It's surprising it took so long, right? Considering like Nigma Pickett is one of 3 heroes for Wii, and they've had a lot of success with it all the way back at TI even, and no one else even gave it a try.
I just love that they picked it versus the Viper. And also, I love the way they adapted to the lanes and everything, the way they adapted to the Slardar and Treant. Also, Doom getting that first kill was so important. Allows him to get the buckler, more armor, gets another chainmail, can't be Doven. Ice armor as well. It's the perfect start for Doom. I think it's one of the major reasons why they won this game.
Great.
Yeah, I must say, though, if we're taking back to the start of the game, we started out with the Doom had a great start, but overall, it was a fairly even laning stage. Like, at that point, it wasn't really clear to say who was going to take it either way, right?
Yeah, I would agree. The first 10 to 15 minutes were extremely even in all 3 lanes, and then all of a sudden this tri-lane starts turning around, which kind of forces you to look at the other lanes, and I don't know, Nico Baby I thought you get punished more in a Slark tri-lane. He really didn't.
The thing is, he was getting a lot of essence shifts, right? He found 3 or 4 in the laning stage itself. But what you said, lanes were kind of even. I don't think Doom versus Slardar should be even. I think Slardar should be dominating there, especially when you start with 2 heroes. But Doom was fine.
First blood and then
blood, frost armor.
Frost armor. I think the armor is just so busted. And also, so Doom's one of like 4 heroes being picked right now. Like I'm watching. Oh, you're pushing bottom. Well, I ate the catapult. Plus 200 gold, and you can't push anymore.
I've never seen a Lich with better ultimates, by the way, than in this game. Fata had some incredible ones.
That one middle.
Incredible bounces.
Here we go.
This is the play of the game. This is what broke Liquid.
And here's the chain for us. It bounced maximum amount of times. They got multiple kills. They got the last hit on freaking Roshan.
Well, goes on
they have like Delta split better. Like I feel like there should also be like great luck you got there from the bounces, but I also feel like Liquid kind of stuck around.
Yeah, it's not only luck. The problem in this fight here for Liquid was the fact that they were in the pit and they had to retreat. They had to get out. You don't want to fight with Drow Ranger on low ground. They were running back to their tower towards the high ground, but it wasn't enough.
To be fair, it also starts though with Boxy like jumping up onto enemy high ground, only to be immediately Wind Ranger ultimated to death.
Yep.
And his teammates are now isolated. They can't help him because there's a BKB Doom between.
And it already started with Limp just power shotting and claiming that last hit on the Roche as well. Speaking of Limp, he's the guy that we're going to play him right now so we can talk to him about his team and about his performance. Welcome to the couch.
All coming.
All right, first of all, congratulations.
Thank you.
I'm a big Wind Ranger fan. Like to see you play it too. What made this the perfect Wind Ranger game for you?
It's just you can dodge the attacks from both Drow and Viper, and also Slardar is very nice. Oracle can dispel it, and the Viper might be a bit hard of a lane, but it was a really good game still.
Yeah, you got last pick in all 3 games. Like, does that feel good as a mid? You know, you can just play what feels right.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely, you almost always get a good pick. I think the Lina game was kind of weird, but it's nice to have last pick. It's also nice to pick early, and then the silence will win, and it's a bit less pressure on you. So I kind of like both.
How did it feel sniping that rush?
I mean, winning the fight after felt way better, but
it
was a good start. It was definitely a good start.
I've got kind of a serious question for you. Like, when you guys made this team, right? Everyone on Red, I'm sure you read online, you guys were like the European leftovers, right? That's kind of what people called you. Did that like give you more motivation? You're top 4 to major now.
I actually never heard that.
You didn't?
I don't really go to Reddit, and I stopped going to Twitter. So
I mean, that's a good idea as a player, right?
I use play.
Yeah, it's been like I mean, I was there for some of it, but it's been a pretty rough road in Dota thus far for you. How does it feel to be, you know, if not tier 1, at least pretty damn close? Again, top 4 to major, you're pretty much safe going to TI, which is pretty big.
Yeah, I mean, of course, it feels amazing to finally get some good results. Yeah, we had some rough times.
How would you rate your performance now compared to your performance in the past? Like, do you feel like you're constantly improving when you play?
It's hard to say if you're constantly improving. I think I played pretty good today. Against Secret, I play like shit, you know. It's just day-to-day basis, I think. But if I improved from when I play in Complexity, yeah, of course.
How much of it is that anything to do with that all of the heroes you're really good at just happen to also be really good in this patch?
Maybe some. I think it's also like where I'm at. I'm in Europe, it's different practice. I feel like NA teams have a bit of disadvantage playing in NA because it's hard to practice it.
Tell me about it.
Yeah.
All right, from an insider perspective, which player on your team, you can say yourself if you want to, would you consider the MVP of this 3rd game of the series?
Ooh, the 3rd game, I think it's me. But I think Nico Baby came back strong as well. But I think I gave him the space for it. I don't know.
Nah, you deserve it. You deserve it.
Let's find out what Twitch chat said. Drum roll, please.
Come on.
The MVP of Game 3
He needs this one.
is it's Nico Baby. Sorry, I'm Fada.
Third behind Fada.
Come on, Fada, that lich. I don't know.
I think those lich bounces in that fight probably had something to do with it.
Yeah, probably. Nico played well though, for sure.
He got a lot of stacks on the Slark. It was very fun to watch. I'm going to congratulate you. We're going to see you again later today against G. Any words for us, you know, anticipating that series?
Not really. We're just going to do our best and hope we win this as well.
All right. Looking forward to seeing you play again. Thank you.
Thank you.
Could you please play a Live Out?
Good job, sir.
Congratulations. Top 4 at a major, and as Kyle says, this is as close as to guaranteed TI as you can get. They came top 8 previous major, which is 450 points.
Pretty good.
And this is like 1,100 points, I think, for being 4th.
Yeah.
So adding that together should put you in a comfortable, cozy seat cruising to Stockholm next year.
And what he said, right? He's like, I feel comfortable playing today. That's pretty good since you have to play 2 series today. We'll see if it goes over, but like he said, it should.
Yeah, it is, I mean, this was a great series.
Yes, it was.
Really liked it. That was, of course, lower bracket. Final words on Team Liquid, by the way. Eliminated top 6, again, 2 majors in a row. It's still nothing to scoff at, but obviously they would have preferred going further. Yeah,
I mean, they literally drafted the exact same thing they did in another game. You know, maybe if they try to switch it up a little more and, you know, expand their horizons, I think we're definitely going to see a top 6 again.
I think the problem is they stomped that last game. The one they played, they won it in like 30 minutes. And the Lions was watching, so they learned from it.
All right, well, thank you very much, gentlemen. Low bracket, we'll have to wait for the last series of today. I'm sure a lot of people are getting ready for our next series because we have the upper bracket finals. We have Team Secret taking on Vici Gaming. It is going to be an absolute beast of a blockbuster match. Stay tuned. We'll be back soon with Rich, who'll take you through it.